You better sit down for this one. Today I'm making a French apple pie monkey bread. It is insanely good. Come along and I'll show you how to make it. And welcome to Tess's Kitchen. In our area in Pennsylvania, we know French apple pie as a full crust covered apple pie that also has raisins and other spices. And when the pie cools, a thin layer of simple white icing is spread over the top, taking it over the edge. I decided to make my version of French apple pie monkey bread. I am using a Granny Smith apple today. You can use a Stamen, Jonathan, Golden Delicious, or a Gala. Use an apple that will hold up in baking. I'm starting by making my caramel sauce, and it couldn't be simpler. In a small saucepan, I have added a stick of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. I'm going to melt it until well dissolved and incorporated. I don't want it to boil, I just want it to get it all melted together. And once that is done, I'm removing it from the heat. Here I have 2 cans of large buttermilk biscuits. These are always fun to open. You never know when they might pop, and this one did. I found the best way to cut these biscuits into quarters is with a pizza cutter, or I also have used scissors. In a large plastic bag, I'm adding 1 cup of granulated sugar, a pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and a half a teaspoon of pumpkin spice. You can also use allspice or even an apple spice. Oh, and don't forget the nutmeg. You want to grate about 1/8 of a teaspoon of fresh nutmeg. It's going to give it that pop, that thing that when people taste it, they're going to say, what is that? You don't want much nutmeg because it will go a long way. Seal the bag and give that a good mix. Next, you want to add the pieces of biscuit in batches and shake well. Make sure all the pieces are coated well and then toss into a bowl. And don't worry about all the extra cinnamon sugar going along. It just adds to all that goodness. Now I'm adding 1 finely chopped Granny Smith apple and a half a cup of raisins, giving that a good toss. The apples and raisins will also pick up that wonderful spiced sugar. If you like this video, remember to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment below. You can also come visit me on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, and Tess Cooks For You blog. In my bundt pan, I had melted a couple tablespoons of butter and coated the sides thoroughly. I'm adding a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of crushed pecans, and this is totally optional, but I happen to like pecans. Make sure they are evenly dispersed. I am placing the biscuit apple raisin mixture evenly around the pan. I want to make sure that the pieces are firm but not smashed. Once that is done, I'm going to set my oven to preheat at 350 degrees. I'm covering the bread and letting it rest for 20 to 30 minutes until my oven preheats. Right before the bread goes in the oven, I'm pouring the caramel over the top and letting it sink through all those pieces and down into the pecans. I'm putting a sheet of aluminum foil over the top, just setting it on the top to help prevent excessive browning or burning on the top. Bake for 45 minutes at 350 degrees and the house smells great. Let it rest for 15 minutes and it's time to flip. The moment of truth. Ah, not too bad. Just have to put those pecans back on top. And we're not done. It wouldn't be French apple pie without the icing. This is a simple rich white icing. I have 1/2 cups of confectioner's sugar, about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. I'm adding my milk 1 tablespoon at a time and whisking. It doesn't take much and the sugar absorbs it quickly. Keep stirring. I think this will be it at 2 tablespoons. I'm at the consistency that I want with a nice flowing smooth texture. You want your bread to be totally cool before you apply the icing. Just take a spoonful and drizzle over the bread. There's no right or wrong here. I'm going to put the remainder in a bowl and put it in the middle of the bread so it can be a dipping option. And oh my goodness, it tastes exactly like French apple pie. It's very, very rich, and no, it's not fat-free by any means. I had such a great response from this bread that I had to make it 3 times. It was a definite crowd pleaser. This is an easy, inexpensive, delicious, and elegant dessert. If you want a different version of monkey bread, well, here it is. The bread is nice and flaky and pulls apart easily. Each piece is rich with the spices and coated with that sticky caramel with bits of apple, raisins, and pecans. Then you go in for that sweet finale of that white rich icing. It is like heaven in your mouth. I hope you make this and enjoy. You will thank me later. Thanks for joining me here in Tess's kitchen. If you like this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future recipe videos. You can also come visit me on Facebook, Pinterest, Google+, and Tess's blog. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.